On January 25, 2025, America woke to an unprecedented reality. A government at a standstill, its purse strings abruptly tightened by a presidential order. President Trump's executive action, a sweeping freeze on federal aid, thrust the country into a state of uncertainty, leaving citizens, lawmakers, and experts grappling with its implications. This freeze, impacting programs from Meals on Wheels to Medicaid, has ignited a firestorm of controversy, with critics decrying it as a blatant power grab. The White House, through Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, defended the move as a necessary measure to ensure fiscal responsibility and weed out waste. They insisted that essential services would remain unaffected, a claim quickly contradicted by mounting evidence from across the nation. The funding freeze has morphed into a flashpoint, igniting a fierce debate about the limits of presidential power and the very foundation of American democracy. The true cost of the funding freeze is best measured not in dollars, but in the human impact, the ripple effects felt in communities across the nation. One of the most immediate casualties has been Meals on Wheels, a lifeline for countless homebound seniors who rely on the program for sustenance. With deliveries halted and funding uncertain, vulnerable seniors are left wondering where their next meal will come from. The freeze's impact extends far beyond social services, reaching critical infrastructure projects and jeopardizing disaster relief efforts. In the wake of Hurricane Helene, which ravaged parts of the Southeast, recovery efforts have been thrown into disarray. Reconstruction projects stalled, debris removal hampered, and communities still reeling from the storm's wrath are left grappling with a double blow. The DMV area, heavily reliant on federal funding, has emerged as a stark illustration of the freeze's crippling effects. The specter of Richard Nixon hangs heavy over the current crisis, his infamous impoundment of funds in the 1970s a chilling precedent. Critics argue that Trump's actions represent a dangerous disregard for the separation of powers, a blatant attempt to circumvent Congress's constitutional authority over federal spending. Nixon's attempt to withhold funds from programs he opposed ultimately backfired, leading to a landmark legal battle and the passage of the Congressional Budget and Impoundment Control Act of 1974. Corey Bretschneider, a constitutional law professor at Brown University, argues that the president's actions strike at the heart of the rule of law. The funding freeze has ignited a fundamental debate about the very nature of American democracy. As the freeze drags on, its impact reverberates beyond the realm of policy and into the very fabric of American society, fueling partisan divisions and igniting public outrage. The political battle lines have been sharply drawn, with Democrats condemning the move as a tyrannical power grab, and some Republicans expressing unease. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi denounced the freeze as an unprecedented overreach of executive power, accusing the administration of holding the American people hostage. Public opinion remains divided, with some praising the president's commitment to fiscal responsibility, while a growing chorus of dissent has emerged. Protests have erupted in major cities across the country, with citizens from all walks of life taking to the streets to voice their anger and demand the release of funds. The long-term consequences of Trump's funding freeze remain to be seen, but one thing is certain: its impact will reverberate far beyond the immediate crisis. The freeze has exposed the fragility of the nation's political system, raising profound questions about the balance of power and the rule of law. As legal challenges wind their way through the courts, the nation waits with bated breath, the outcome likely to shape the political landscape for years to come. The 2024 election looms large, the freeze serving as a stark reminder of the stakes involved and the profound choices facing the American people. It's a future fraught with uncertainty, where the very principles of liberty, equality, and justice hang in the balance.